Now that you've learned about the basic accounting settings, we'll push a bit further and learn you how to customize your accounting. In this chapter, we will discuss how you can create your own chart of accounts, how you can create your own journals, define your own taxes, set default accounts and taxes on products, and apply the correct taxes by using fiscal positions. We will start by creating an account. In Odoo, you can easily create new accounts simply by clicking Create and filling the data. However, when you have used a custom chart of accounts or a localized chart of accounts, you can also duplicate existing accounts, which is easy because there are a lot of settings that have to be respected for accounts. So if you duplicate an existing account of the corresponding type, you don't have to think about the settings. So we open the product sales account and we click the More button and then select Duplicate. As you see, the word copy is mentioned, so you know you are working on a copy. We will create account 200,001 and call it Sales of Services. Now, what do all these fields mean? The parent account allows you to create a structure for your accounts. So if you say, okay, this one, sales of services, belongs to the parent 20, it means that 20 revenues is kind of container and that in these revenues, every sub-account will be totalized. You can also see the structure of your accounts in the chart of accounts, which we will refer to later. The internal type is predefined and you cannot change this manually. I mean, you can not add any other internal types. You have a view type, meaning that you cannot do entries in a view account, but that it's only for displaying and totalizing. You have regular accounts, which are most of the accounts. You have a receivable accounts, which will be used as a centralization accounts for your customer. You have the payable account, which is a centralization account for your suppliers. You have liquidity, which is used for cash and bank accounts. You have consolidation accounts, which can be used if you create a separate chart of accounts that you can use for consolidation. And closed means that the account is no longer used. The account types are variable, though they determine the way your closing is done. So if we check here the income account type, we open it, we see that the P&L balance sheet category is profit and loss income account, which means that this kind of account will be printed on the profit and loss reporting. The deferral method is very important and is here set to none because costs and expense and income accounts are never transferred to the following year during closing. So what is very important when defining account types is that you make sure that these settings are correct, because if this setting for the P&L balance sheet category is not correct, your report will be incorrect. If your deferral method is not correct, then your opening balance will not be correct. What are the deferral methods available in Odoo? You have none, which means that nothing is transferred to the next year. So this is the case, typically the case for expense and income accounts. You have balance. So that is for your balance accounts, for which Odoo will only transfer the balance. Then you have detail. In that case, every single line of an account will be transferred, also reconciled lines. And you have unreconciled, which is typically used for centralization accounts for your customers and your suppliers, which will only transfer open items. So these are very important. Then you have the active field. Active means that the account can be actively used in the system. Debit, credit, and balance are merely for information, and they will show you here the debit and credit and the balance of the account we are talking about. You can also add a default tax to an account, meaning that when you post an invoice without using a product, the default tax of the account will automatically be proposed. What does the allow reconciliation mean? You can typically use it for centralization accounts, or you can use it for accounts that you want to reconcile manually. So we click Save. Open. Odoo will test whether the code already exists, and if that is the case, you will get an error message saying that you can't create the same code twice. So this is how you can create your own accounts. I will show you the chart of accounts view for all periods. The chart of account view does not only allow you to see the structure of your accounts, but it also displays the actual balance for the periods concerned. So if we click Open Charts, you will see for your company the balance sheet and the profit and loss accounts divided by their containers. As we created a new account in the container 20, sales of services, this account is also displayed here. If we click an account which has already an amount, if we click it, we drill down to the general ledger of that account.